Disney World presents.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Diz Unlimited podcast. I'm Craig Williams, and I'll be hosting this virtual roundtable discussion. And joining me for today's Walt Disney World discussion includes the one and only Rhino Clavin.
Hello. I practiced a Scooby-Doo voice and I couldn't do it, so I abandoned it. Sorry.
I mean, we can try again. Joining me this week, we have the one and only Scooby-Doo.
Ruh-roh.
Good try. And that wasn't an awkward pause because of a delay. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do to recover from that. It's okay. Then we have John Magi, of course.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
We have Kevin Close.
Hi, everyone.
And we have Blurry Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Wait a minute. She's dressed as Barbie? I thought she was dressed as every girl I went to high school with in the 80s. Bambi.
No, it has the little
enough.
Barbie bee.
Oh, it's Barbie.
It's Barbie.
Yeah, it's from
very
the
pink,
movie.
though. I like it a lot.
I'm sorry that I'm
Very
blurry
good
now.
review, Greg.
I know colors. I'll tell you that much. I am very good at this. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Halloween. It's just early in the day, but I'm sure it will be a very eerie and creepy night for all of us out there. Maybe, if we're lucky. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with today's discussion. We're going to talk about some of the recent happenings at Walt Disney World and beyond. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then towards the end of the show, we are going to have a new dining review from John and Kevin. And this time they went to Topolino's Terrace at Disney's Riviera Resort. You're not going to want to miss that. Before we get started, though, I want to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content, you want to support us, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. It costs you no extra money, and you get the support of one of the amazing Dreams Unlimited Travel agents. So go get a free no obligation quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. If you're looking at a cruise and you actually book one through Dreams, you're going to get an amazing gift basket. If you are looking at a Walt Disney World vacation package, you could receive some free money in the form of a Disney gift card. And I believe John actually has an update for us about those gift cards.
Yeah. As of today, we've decided we're going to extend our gift card promotion. You get up to a $300 gift card for booking a Walt Disney World package. We've extended the book by date until the end of November, so November 30th. And I suggest that folks go out and check out the videos of the guys spending their $50, or should I say spending my $50, which is part of we want to show folks what you can get for your gift card.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think when we originally pitched that idea to you, we said we'll go out and spend $50 and then we'll use it as giveaways. Like, hey, this is what we bought because we enjoyed it and now let's give it to you. And then I think we lost our minds halfway through and just got greedy and said, I'm keeping it all for myself. But we'd have to go back to the minutes of that meeting and see what really happened.
Okay.
I don't have that.
I'll have Kathleen bring up the steno that she took.
I didn't get a gift card.
That's true. You did not.
Kevin, I would have shared mine with you had I known that John didn't provide you with a gift card.
Thank you.
Next time. I don't think there will be a next time for that, though. But how's everyone doing this week? You having a good Halloween so far?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah,
Nothing's happening.
so far. Yeah. Too early for kids yet in our neighborhood to show up, but we usually get quite a few kids trick-or-treating. We like it.
The people on all three sides of us have spent all of their money on 10-foot statues, 10-foot skeletons that light up and stuff. We have one Mickey pumpkin out in front of our house. Our Halloween decorations are going to be easier to put away.
Yep.
So yesterday I was over at Fort Wilderness for the golf cart parade, and I'll talk about that in a couple minutes here. But I was there with Disney, and they were driving us around on a golf cart, so that way we could also go around and see the different loops and stuff. And I've been there before for Halloween and Christmas, and I've seen how people decorate their campsites, but I've never been like this close to Halloween. And the amount of inflatables and decorations that get put up is just beyond anything I ever expected. Like Rhino and I went and looked one time, and it's like, yeah, this is cute, but it's not as crazy as I thought. But when you go like right the day before Halloween, it is just something else, like thousands. And there's some people that have I would say probably 50 different inflatables decorations right in their own little campsite. And the weirdest one, I wish I had a photo of it, but we were moving by too fast. Someone built like an actual diorama ride through of the Haunted Mansion that was probably like 6 feet tall and then had different rooms. So like they were like little shadow boxes where there was a doom buggy and dummies in it. And then like the next one over, they had like Madame Leota, and the rest weren't revealed. I just don't know what was happening there. But if you ever have the chance to go to Fort Wilderness in that like time period, couple days before Halloween, drive around as many loops as possible and see how people go crazy with it. Like I do a little bit of decorating, but I was just looking at some of these campsites and I'm like, do they just live in their RVs year round, and that's how they can afford this many inflatables? Because they're not cheap. And they just buy so many. But then again,
where do you put them?
That's where my mind goes, Kevin. My mind goes to storage. I think, are you pulling around a trailer behind you just for your inflatables? I don't understand where people put that stuff. Maybe they have storage facilities or something, but yeah.
I mean, that's the
really
business
cool.
we need to get into. Let's forget the studio. Let's buy a storage facility that's meant for Disney fans who want to come to Fort Wilderness to store all of their inflatables and everything for all the different seasons. And then
now you're thinking like a business person.
It only took me 10 years.
Fort Wilderness at Halloween is just one of those things, like, if you've never seen it, I think it's a must, because it just gets bigger and bigger. It's crazy to me that Disney invited you, because I feel like in the last couple of years, they really cracked down on who can be there to see it all. So like, I used to do it. I used to rent a cabin when I was a cast member. You could get that discount and get friends to do a Halloween night there. But then they stopped letting you do one night rentals at Halloween. You had to do 2 to 3 nights or whatever. I think it was 3 nights was what they started making it. And I don't know if that was just for cast members or anybody trying to visit that time of year. But I love Fort Wilderness, period. And then add that Halloween stuff, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. In general, I don't, I know they don't want people over there. That was kind of pressed around a lot this year, passed around, not pressed around. Apologies. And, it was like, okay, from the 26th through, Halloween, that unless you have dining reservations or you're staying as part of the Fort Wilderness campgrounds and cabins, then you can't get in there. Even like you can't add extra visitors to come and check everything out just because of how busy it was. So it was kind of odd to me that they invited me over, but ultimately, we only had a very small group, and I don't feel like we imposed too much on all the campers that were there. So we didn't take up too much of a parade spot, except they put us under this ridiculous tent that they didn't have to put up at all. And I was like, oh, good. Now we're just calling attention to ourselves that we don't belong. That totally not uncomfortable by that. Really, really good stuff. But no, it was a lot of fun.
What's interesting about the fact that they invited some media out to this is that the campsites book very well. Like a year in advance, campsites are booked up. People really scramble to get these reservations. So it's not like they have to push these reservations for folks. So it seemed maybe it was just a goodwill thing because people can't go see it. They wanted people to have some shots for social media and things like that. But it seemed weird that they were inviting media out to this specific thing. Like I
To
don't know
advertise
what
something you can't go to.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the purpose was.
I don't ask questions. I just show up when people ask me to be there, and I'm so glad they did, so I could finally see it. I guess you know what, I keep like beating around the bush with it, saying that saying I'll talk about it in a little bit, but let's just talk about it right now. So I'll show off a little bit of the golf cart parade here because I was blown away. I've seen videos before with it, but until you actually see it in person, I don't really think it does it justice. I think there was like over 100 golf carts that people decorated. Some were done really well, some were not. But you know what? It's all about the college effort that goes into it. And, there's just so many that roll through. These are, guest created. And the first thing I asked them was like, are there any restrictions? Because like right now we're looking at a giant 0 that you're like, how is that street legal?
How they
Well, I don't think it is.
there? Yeah.
And just wait, there's a bigger one.
Oh my God,
But like
look
I
at the
asked if
mayor.
there's any rules or restrictions, and they're like, no, I mean there are some, but for the most part, guests can get as creative as they want, and I mean they do. They get super creative with it. I know that there are they do judging while they're there, so it's possible to win a top spot. And as if you're one of the people watching this, you'll understand which one probably won the top spot as we're going through right here in particular, because we're looking
Look at that. Holy smokes.
It actually
that's so
stretches.
cool.
It's a Haunted Mansion
stretching
room that actually stretched. Just insane.
I gotta say
these are
something, Craig.
So well done. Yeah.
I know we get a lot of folks who listen to the show who don't watch us. If you are a listener and not a watcher, you've got to go and just watch this clip. This is unbelievable. Some of these that can't be a golf cart. How can that be a golf cart?
I think
You
so.
wanna
Like
look like
some
a
of them, like the
teenager.
train, and there's one more that's coming up that's like Cruella that drives around that is clearly a golf cart. But I think in some of the circumstances, it's people who like literally soup up their golf carts and decorate them solely just for this event, because they do get some people that just they do the exact same thing year after year after year, and they don't really change it up. But I like the ones that clearly look like they were done. Done in the days leading up to it, but because that's just a mini
Cruella
golf.
chasing the
That's a mini
Dalmatians.
Wow.
Tron.
Oh my God, these people are so creative.
They really are.
They are.
They really are
So
creative.
I highly recommend it in the future. It is a Disney sanctioned event now. When it first started, it wasn't. It was just, people who loved Fort Wilderness going and doing it. And now Disney has fully embraced it. They do golf cart parades for Halloween, of course. That's what we just saw. They do one for Christmas. They do one for the 4th of July. And they do one now for halfway to Halloween. So you have lots of opportunities, even if you can't get in at Halloween.
So you're saying they're trying to make like, when's halfway to Halloween? Does that usually happen in like June or July? I don't know.
I believe that would
June.
be, if I'm correct, that's 6 months from now.
April.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. So, yeah, well, that's what an education gets you. But
I had to do it twice. I had to do the math twice. So.
Well, that's cool that I love that idea of halfway to Halloween. How many carts did you see in the parade?
It was over 100. I didn't actually count them. I really should have, but it was just so much. And some of them were moving like super fast. Others were kind of like going slow and soaking it up. But it was really impressive.
That's
and
incredible.
I do believe you can like rent the golf carts there at Fort Wilderness and decorate them yourselves, as long as you don't destroy them. Obviously, that's part of the paperwork you sign when you hand over money for them. So, if you don't have your own golf cart, you're not being left out of the parade. Just don't destroy it, and you should be good. It was a first for me, because I have never seen the golf cart parade there before, and blew me away, and I was so happy. And then also that morning, yesterday morning, I had another first for me, and I finally was able to see an actual flyover in Walt Disney World happen, because I never bother going anytime they happen, whether it's, Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds. And yesterday they did a flyover of Magic Kingdom, and then they went all the way past Swan and Dolphin and Epcot and looped all the way around. And, we're looking at, if you're watching this, you're looking at a picture of the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds flying over Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, where they could not have timed it more perfectly.
With a
They had to have
monorail.
parked that monorail there. They parked that monorail there. There's no way that was just the timing. The monorail was there in Spaceship Earth. I didn't watch from that angle. This is a Disney photo, so I can't say for sure. But then they flew
Oh, it's
back.
all CG. It's all green screen.
I
They
can
CGI'd the
attest.
monorail.
I saw it there. It actually was there. But you know what? That's probably what happened. So, like, as of like an hour ago, one of the monorails
I was just
on
gonna
the
say.
Epcot line was broken
Yeah.
down and being evacuated for a flat tire. So it wasn't that one, but maybe
No.
that's the retribution that they got. So yesterday they parked a monorail for a photo, and today they're dealing with a broken down monorail.
Entirely
It's
flat.
not
I've
great.
seen this
but-
in the past. I've seen this happen in the past, not this year, but it is an incredible experience. The problem is that it's like you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, and you're in these crowds, and then happens and it's over right away. So it's one of those things that's kind of like, oh, you got to really be there, be willing to dedicate to it. But it's a pretty incredible experience. Yeah, you've
Yeah.
got this great video playing right now of them going over the castle and down Main Street. Holy smokes, that's
That's
impressive.
so cool.
Yeah, it was honestly, and I will say, the crowd looks heavy there. It wasn't that bad. Like, we walked into Main Street maybe like 5 minutes before and had a decent view of it. Nothing really blocking. Like, if you want to get right in front of the partners or right beside the partner statue and get like a cool photo, or in a really sweet spot, then yeah, it might be. You might be waiting a little while, but as John said, it really is like. It happens so fast. It was so fast and so loud. I've heard them fly over my house on the way to Magic Kingdom before, but I never actually stopped and watched them in person. And I just, if you have a chance to see that while you're at Walt Disney World, absolutely go out of your way to make it happen. It's one of those things. I don't have a lot of like bucket list items left for Walt Disney World, a lot of things that I haven't done. And then to have two in one day, watching a flyover in Cinderella, like in Magic Kingdom over Cinderella Castle, and then the golf cart parade, like it was a day I will not forget for a long, long time. And I'm
John
very
and I
fortunate
just
that it
went
got
to
to
an
happen.
earmarked convention at the Contemporary. It was 3 days last week, and the final speaker was the first female Thunderbird.
Oh wow!
She closed
cool.
out the event. She was fascinating. She told
First
us what she
female
had to
Thunder
do to
pilot.
get. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I talked over you. Go.
She closed out the event, and she was telling us what it took to become a Thunderbird and to be the first woman. And it was, she gave some great advice. When things are going not the way you want to, your first reaction is to push harder. And what she said was, you have to let up on the stick. Let go of it a little bit and let it happen, and you can fix it that way. So that was her big takeaway moment. I've paraphrased her. I apologize, but she was fascinating.
Wow, that
I agree.
sounds really, really cool. So
That's amazing.
I just it's one of those things. It does happen so fast, but it's just like it's one of those things. Like I've seen flyovers at football games, and it's not like you can go to an air show and see. You can see these planes moving fast, but something about it having to connect with Disney, and this was the lead up to Military Month, which is in November, and they're like actually making military merchandise for the first time. I guess. I mean, I think they've made some stuff before, but like they were really pushing it. I didn't get to see any of it in person, but I heard
It's
it was
actually
in
really
the
cute.
Emporium. What's that, Erica?
It actually turned out pretty cute, the merchandise. Like they have a sweater, like a crew neck sweater that says, I believe it says like courage on it. And it's like that army green, but the wording is the camo. And it's actually pretty cute. And I believe there's a hat and a cup. And so far, it's what I've seen when I was at Magic Kingdom this weekend. But it looks like a actually pretty cute collection that they put some like thought into. So I like it.
Yeah. Well,
She was telling us that when they're flying, they're going upwards of 500 miles an hour, and they are 3 feet apart. So they're
3
all
feet?
trained to maneuver.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Was that my time limit?
That was
you out, Kevin.
you really
Playing you
counted
out.
down.
Have I gone
Playing you out.
long?
I have a question about the merchandise. What is it only at the Magic Kingdom? Do we know, or is it available other places? I would assume it'd be
I haven't
downtown,
seen
Disney-
it yet
Disney
at other
Springs.
places. Because I was at Hollywood Studios yesterday and I was going in and out of shops and I didn't see any there. But
I
that's
would
all I've
assume
really
it'll
been
make
right
its way
now.
to World of Disney eventually.
Yeah.
So, like everything
hope
does
so.
at some point, but it's very cool. I'm happy that they're doing it for Military Month, and definitely try to see it if you ever have the opportunity to. That leads me to ask the question: since I had a day of 2 bucket list items, what
Well,
is everyone's bucket list items that they still have left on theirs, if you have any that you can think of? And I ask because Rhino always defaulted in the past to saying, I want to eat in Cinderella Castle, and then he already did that now.
Wow, that's a hard one.
I think
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of mine.
Hey,
I think
one
one
at
of
a
mine-
time. One at a time.
Calm down,
I
everybody.
think one
Okay.
of mine is to do like the firework cruises. Is that something I haven't done and I feel like that would be really cute. It's just I'm trying to think because I have an actual list of everything I haven't done at Disney, but I haven't found it in a while, so I haven't updated it. But I know for sure one of my things that I really want to do is a firework cruise.
I'd like to do the Fort Wilderness parade thing we just saw. I used to love to stay there, and I thought it would be really cool to just like fully commit. I've never been able to like fully commit, so I'd love to be able to get my mom to come down. I doubt she ever will for that because grandchildren, whatever. But I think it would be so cool to just like really deck out your cabin and just like have a couple of like 3 days, like you check in on the 30th, you're there the 31st, and you maybe stay the 1st as well, and just like have a fun like Halloween party or something like that there.
Because you got to take all that stuff down.
Oh yeah.
I just leave it behind. So don't even bother.
All
Sorry,
right, just tip the house cleaner really well.
or Burning Man it, just big bonfire. Let's just get rid of it all.
We
Boy,
don't
that was
get...
a really hip reference for me, I'm telling you.
It was. John and Kevin, you've been traveling to Walt Disney World for so many years. Do you even have anything left that you haven't done?
Kevin, you want to go first?
No, give me a minute. You go first.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta say this is one of those things that it's so tough. We've had such an incredible opportunity to do pretty much everything and stuff that other people don't usually get a chance to do and see. Boy, I would say right now my bucket list thing is very attainable, but it's not Walt Disney World, and it's going to the new private island Lighthouse Point that Disney's building. I'm really excited to see it. I'm going to be honest, I'm not as excited about the new ship, but I'm really excited to go see that island. So that's my current bucket list thing that I want to accomplish. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, we're very, very lucky. We're very fortunate. We've had a chance to go places and see things and be parts of backstage experiences. I can't think of anything Walt Disney World that I haven't done.
And meet people that were instrumental. I think I've attained most of my bucket list stuff. I mean, I had dinner with Marty Sklar. So I think that's kind of incredible. For me, it was. But I think what I would tell you is I wouldn't know it was a bucket list item until I did it. Walt Disney World still has the ability to utterly surprise me. So I'll wait for the next one. But
I want to see I've never seen the inside of the Dream Suite. I want to see the room in the castle.
Yeah, that's
I
one
haven't
of
seen
the
it.
very
Watch
few
videos.
left on my list. So I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I've seen it. Sorry.
I am sure.
Sorry, loser.
Yeah.
Name some more things that I've done. Go ahead.
If I owned a successful travel agency back in the days when people were allowed in there more regularly, I'm sure I'd see the inside of it too. But I just wasn't fortunate enough to do that. But yeah, it's that's the weird part. I feel like you can sneeze out front of Disneyland and they'll let you come up inside. But for the Cinderella Castle Dream Suite, it's like it's just locked off to everyone. So except celebrities, which I mean, I'm not. Scooby-Doo here is, I'm sure, and Barbie.
No photos, please. No photos.
No photos, no paparazzi.
I don't even need to stay. It's not one of those because I feel like that's a completely unrealistic bucket item. But I just want to be able to like go up and see it. Go, cool.
Yeah. He wants to do what he did at Disneyland, where now I will out him for this. He used the bathroom in the Dream Suite while we were there the last time. One of the nice bathrooms, not the ones that you're supposed to use.
I did. I used the one in the bedroom, the other bedroom. That's where they told me to go. It was only a number 1, so it was fine.
Oh,
Well, I guess we're now that type of show. So
it wasn't Scooby Poo.
It wasn't. I just lifted a leg.
well,
Take control.
I was not expecting toilet humor today, but here's where we found ourselves. So.
Oh, wait until we get to the food review. Wait till we get to the restaurant review.
Speaking of toilets, Craig, what's your bucket list?
I said that going into the Cinderella Castle Suite too. That's one of the few things I haven't done. So
That's a segue that wins awards.
I would do that, or if as terrified as I am of heights, if I could ever go up to the top of Spaceship Earth, like the tippy top, like I would love to do that. Or of course, as we talked about last week, I would always be up and open to go out of Tinkhole that's on top of Cinderella Castle and just peek up from there, because those are views you'll never get to see before. Unless
you mean like walking? You mean like walking up to the top of Spaceship Earth, like on the scaffolding and stuff?
Coming out of that little, wherever the hole is on the top, where they put people, where people come and hang out of there. So, I'm sure there's a ladder to climb up. So, one day, if someone drinks enough margaritas in Epcot, I'm sure they'll try to climb Spaceship Earth from the outside.
Probably.
But
one of my things for Disneyland has always been to see that little room inside the Matterhorn. I haven't had a chance to, no opportunity
with the basketball hoop.
Yeah, the basketball hoop. I think that would be cool.
I think you can see it if you actually work at Matterhorn. So I think it's just as easy enough as, putting this life behind you, moving to California, getting a part-time job at Matterhorn, going through your training, and then being like, I think I'm done. I'll pass.
At 100 years old, there's nothing better than starting over.
That's what I always hear. Who needs to retire? Just transition to the next part of your life and working at Disneyland on the Matterhorn. So wouldn't be bad. But okay, we still have a lot to cover, so let's move on to our next our first news item here of the day, and that is that we know the dates for the return of the Epcot International Festival of the Arts for 2024. It's going to return January 12th, 2024, and it will run through February 19th, 2024. And I feel like every year, Festival of the Arts and the Festival of the Holidays wants to have a battle for which one can be the shorter festival that takes place at Epcot. And I believe this year it might be the holidays, since Thanksgiving happens kind of late, but it's close. They're neck and neck there. Of course, Festival of the Arts is celebrating all things arts, including Disney on Broadway concerts, interpretive arts, culinary arts, and last but not least, art. And it might all be art, but definitely
just some guy named Art
there.
You know what? Named Art.
That's who.
Art
if
Smith.
there is someone who works at Disney currently that's name is
Smith.
Art, is he alive?
Art's isn't he always inside of Homecoming?
Is it? Yeah, I haven't seen him lately.
He's not a cast member. He doesn't count.
He doesn't get an ID.
I mean,
Isn't it
I'm
Art
sure he's
Smith's
got the
homecoming?
green ID. He's got the green ID,
Oh.
but he doesn't wear a Disney name tag, and I'm not sure
All
he's
right.
alive.
All right,
What
this
do
is
you
going
mean
on.
Art
Art
Sort of
Smith,
like-
the chef? Are we
Fall
talking
into a
about Art
cake
Smith?
man? Yeah.
Yep, he's talking about the chef Art Smith.
I don't think he's there all the time.
Okay, so
Well, now you've started
a-
a new conspiracy theory.
a Disney cast member named Art or Chef Art Smith, if we can give him a cast member ID, and then he can stand out. It's even ruined. I don't even know why I'm still talking
Well,
about it now at this point. Festival of the Arts is happening. See Art Smith.
Do you know what I just read about the other day? Sorry, this is like a little bit of a tangent, but technically they worked for Disney too. Shonda Rhimes doesn't have moved from her deal at ABC to Netflix because she asked for tickets for her sister and the nanny to be able to go to the park for they had never been or something, and the Disney executive was like, "We don't normally do this for," and I was like, "This lady is your entire Thursday night lineup, and you were squabbling about $150 ticket, and then her sister and the nanny got to the park and it didn't work."
Oh no.
So so she was just like, you know what, I'm worth more than this, and then she got that like 3-figure deal at Netflix.
Chandra, reach out to John
Three
at
figures, like
Dreams
$100.
Unlimited Travel. I will.
Yeah,
buy
she
you.
got the $154 ticket at Netflix. I know. I just said
Doesn't
3-figure, I meant six.
Shonda Rhimes afford a ticket?
Well, that's what they basically said. They said something about that, and they were just
And
like,
she got
I
a
don't know, it's
3-figure
weird.
deal?
A 3-figure deal. They paid her $150.
Okay, well, that will lead us to our next offshoot question. It was going to be about Festival of the Arts and do we like the festival, but now
I
it's
would like to say something about Festival of the Arts.
well. First,
All right.
do
Take it, John.
celebrities deserve to get into theme parks for free, or should they have to pay?
I think if they're
They
making
should
the
have to
company
pay.
like millions and millions of dollars, it should be one of their benefits. They work
Well,
for
yes.
Disney just like anybody else.
Let's say if they're cast members, which Disney employees are all considered cast members, you get a ticket as a cast member,
Mhm.
and you get a
Yeah.
ticket that allows you to bring in other people. So I don't know what the status of Chandra was at the moment. I mean, she didn't
Yeah.
contact me, but she should have had a ticket. Maybe some of it was.
Would you have given
Yeah.
her a ticket?
Oh my God, no heartbeat.
She should have
I
worked
would've-
with a travel agent from Dreams Unlimited
should have.
Travel, and they would have
so
taken
would've
care
done
of it all.
I would
But-
have asked her point blank, is Viola Davis here with you?
Well, you would see Viola Davis if she was there with you. Kevin, Festival of the Arts.
I'm not sure I can follow this.
Try.
Me either.
Some friends
get
were
away with
just here
murder.
last weekend, and they went to the Food and Wine Festival, and they found a booth, and it's called Cork Tunes. It's part of the Artistic Talent Group. And the Artistic Talent Group is an ongoing thing. I understand that they have an area at Disney Springs, but they have set up this booth and they are selling something that I think is just kind of cool. It's between Africa and Germany. And it's right near the Crystal booth, from what I understand. They take
They tell
a
you fortune.
picture, or if you're there in person, they'll do it live, and they do a caricature on a cork. And it is $20. It's a regulation wine cork, and it comes in a little glass tube, and there's a pin in the bottom of it that holds it up so it looks like it's floating. And they did one for John and I. They're quite detailed. They have our names on them. And the top of the cork says 2023. There is a glass block that you can buy as a base for it. She didn't buy us that. She thought these were good on their own. But I think they're really kind of neat. And for $20, I think it's a nice, there are our names. It's a nice souvenir to take home. At least I like it as a souvenir.
I think it's cool that they did ours from pictures on her phone. She had a couple pictures of us on her phone and said, do it from that. And I think they look great. I think they're really,
And the
really
person
cool.
doing mine kept asking her, "Is this Drew Carey?"
I mean, I guess I kind of see the resemblance in a way. So I
Oh, I
think,
get stopped in the park and people ask me.
yeah, I mean, it's hard when you have
Seriously.
the hat on, but I mean, especially when his hair is kind of longer. Yeah, you do kind of have that same look. It's one of another. So,
I
uh,
think I should get free tickets for looking like a celebrity.
you
He
should
works for
have
CBS.
back in the day. You should have hung out in front of Sounds Dangerous. Just said
Yeah.
they don't let me in for free.
I had a friend who worked for Disney, and he was invited to the opening of Animal Kingdom, and Drew Carey was one of the people who was there doing things for Disney, and I ran into Drew Carey like 6 times that day. I didn't think I looked like him, but what do I know?
Yeah. I would love to run into Drew Carey. I mean, preferably on The Price is Right and then become the big winner, but I don't think that's in the cards for me at all ever. But maybe one day.
I
Have
saw
you
Know
been
an
to the
ABD
Price
guy
is
who
Right?
was. What's that?
Have you been to the Price is Right?
I haven't. So,
That
but
makes your chances better.
well, I don't even know where they film it. I know it's in
Yes, you
Los
do. We've
Angeles.
CBS
been there.
Television Studios.
Craig, we literally that place where we went to eat outside of the Grove. It's like the studio is right across the street. That's why everyone who goes to eat there has the T-shirts, the Price is Right T-shirts on.
Well, you
You
probably should have
remember?
pointed that out while we were there.
Well, sorry, I thought you knew. You're the guy who's done that trip like 5 times.
Yeah,
All right.
I have. But no, our one ABD guide that we had, Ralph, he was a huge winner on Price is Right, and you have to take a tour with him in order to hear his story. But it is, yeah, it's one of jealousy and rage for me. But one day, one day I'll get on the Price is Right.
Right.
Any other things to say about Festival of the Arts? We barely talked about it, but
Oh, I'm excited. It's one of my favorite festivals at Epcot. So, I'm excited. I really do dislike how short the festival is, but it is one of my favorite because I love to just take a stroll and look at all the art, and I love Broadway, so being able to see the performances like are really a highlight for me. So, I'm really excited for it. Like I can't wait. But the Festival of the Holidays is a close second for me. But I love Festival of the Arts. So I'm really
I
excited.
still prefer Festival of the Masters that was held at Disney Springs.
yeah. For me, Festival of the Arts is kind of like I honestly can make it a one and done for the entire season. I mean, sometimes they make that a little harder when an artist, is selling something that I'm interested in later on in the festival, and so you want to go back so that way you can buy it while the artist is there and have that interaction. But beyond that, I do miss Festival of the Masters. I feel like, we used to talk about that a lot in the first couple of years that I worked here, but it was such a cool event. And it actually felt like the art there was showcasing, talented local artists and artists from around the world who had a place to come in and, show what they do. And
It
now
wasn't all Disney art.
Exactly. And that's what I was just going to say. It's like now, no offense to Disney artists. Like I have so many Disney prints and canvases like so many people out there, and I absolutely love and adore them. But I want more than just Disney art. I wanna see what else is out there, and not just the little fairy gardens or the chia pets that they sell there. They're not chia pets. What are they? Then you grow them.
Topiaries?
They become topiaries. Thank you. If I would have just kept talking, I got to that point anyways. But yeah, I'd like a little
Yeah,
more
Chia
from
Pet's
it.
different.
I've never owned one of those, so I just assume
John
those are
owns
little
one. It's
topiaries.
RuPaul.
I do have a RuPaul chair.
More on that.
Cross my heart.
Do you think Festival of the Arts is short because they do a lot of the Broadway series things, and that's sort of a big draw for them, that they just sort of concentrate it that way? Do you think that's why it's so short? Because they could easily run it much longer and connect other festivals.
Well, I mean, it almost does, because usually Flower and Garden Festival starts the first week of March. So really, it's like they take a 2-week break to just kind of reset and get ready, kind of like in between Festival of the Holidays and Festival of the Arts. So, yeah, I think it just has to be short out of necessity for Flower and Garden, and there's
Couldn't
no
it just
doubt
be
that
one long festival?
yeah. I mean, they can change the theme internally without making a big deal about the name change in that. Just it's Epcot World Showcase, Festival Showcase. Boom. Nailed it. Pay me.
That
With
fixed
countries.
it.
Now with countries.
Now, yeah. That's how they sell it. When people forget about the countries, it's Epcot's Festival Showcase. Now with countries. Boom. Come back. Check it all out. You'll love Norway. Got a great ride there. Speaking of Norway and its great attraction, that of course you sail on a boat, and that will lead us into the final little news story we're going to talk about here. That's not so little at all.
I was going to say final little.
It's just a little one. You know, it only incorporates January through May of 2025, which is of course a little span of time when you think about the average lifetime, how long Walt Disney World has been around, how long the Walt Disney Company has been around. But Disney Cruise Line released their early 2025 itineraries from January through May of 2025, and it is a lot. So they obviously want to remind people that the Disney Treasure is sailing during that time period from Port Canaveral to the Caribbean, but also with the other ships, the Disney Magic will be doing Caribbean sailings out of Galveston, as well as Bahamian cruises out of Port Canaveral, Fort Lauderdale, Galveston, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. The Disney Wonder will be sailing to Mexico from San Diego, as well as the Pacific Coast, Hawaiian cruise, and a South Pacific cruise. The Disney Dream will be sailing in the Caribbean out of Fort Lauderdale, as well as Bahamian cruises out of Fort Lauderdale. The Disney Fantasy sailing Bahamian cruises from Port Canaveral, and the Disney Wish will continue sailing Bahamian cruises out of Port Canaveral. Pearl Castaway Club members can already book. Platinum and Golden Oak, are booking today. So congratulations, you made it. Tomorrow's going to be all those Goldies out there, Gold Castaway Club members, and then Goldie Hawn, unless she's also a Golden Oak member, which she could be. Thursday is Silver, DVC, and Adventures by Disney Insiders. And finally, November 6th is everyone else out there will be able to book those early 2025 cruises. And I get bummed out every time these happen because I look at the cruises, especially now when you see those, just like after Lighthouse Point opens up, you see some of those cruises out there that are not going anywhere else except a stop at Lighthouse Point, a stop at Castaway Cay, even without seeing that new island. That's literally my dream of what I want to do, and there's a lot on there for early 2025, so hopefully it can make it happen. But man, waiting over a year for those cruises, I know it's the best pricing, but I don't plan anything out that far in advance. I can't imagine doing it, but
you are actually, as a Disney fan, you're unique. Disney fans love to plan and they love to book, and this is something.
And you have a son.
I don't know what that has to do with it.
He's not making plans a year in advance. He's got a kid.
It was a Maury type announcement. You have a son.
You have a kid,
gentlemen.
I am the
Well,
father.
you said I don't plan things that far in advance.
I don't.
But what I'm saying is you're unique because people do it, and not only are they doing it, but they are, folks are excited about this. People have been waiting for this to happen. What's really interesting for us in the biz is that, there used to be a couple of ships, right? There used to only be a couple of ships. So you had this, early year announcement, and it was, we have these Western and Eastern itineraries, and maybe you're sailing out of Galveston. It's like, I can't keep track of all of the cruises that are happening because there's so many ships now and all the things that they're doing.
Luckily, you have agents that can.
I thank God that I have agents who know this. I call them up. They're like my phone a friend. And it's like, please explain this to me, because it becomes so complicated of where these cruises are going. But what's really excited about it is that they can now do a lot more specialty cruises. They're doing Honolulu to Sydney, and they're finishing up their Australia trips, which is very, very exciting to a lot of folks. So it's great that this is happening. It's just, for me personally, it's like, wow, I remember the old days, and it was like, "Ooh, 2 ships. Look."
I do not
Either
remember
3
those
or 4
days.
days or a week.
Yeah.
You don't remember?
Sorry, talked over you.
You don't remember 2 ships?
I don't. I mean, I remember them from reading like a Disney magazine at home saying, oh, they've got these Disney cruise lines. But my dad was adamant that cruising was not something we would ever do as a family. So that's why I didn't cruise until starting to work for this company. And now I know how many ships there are. There's 5, and there's going to be 6, and then there's going to be 7. There's probably going to be more than that. And now I know how to count.
Excellent.
Pretty
So you have a son.
And I have a son.
That wasn't that weird. He said he doesn't plan anything a year in advance.
It was pretty freaking weird. It really was.
It wasn't. You should start planning.
I plan his dinner out like 20 minutes in advance, so like I feel like I'm making some progress.
Good job.
Not bad. Yeah, thanks. I need that medal.
Yeah,
that
thanks.
I'll never
Don't
get.
say that so short.
Okay, that unless anyone else has anything to add in here, I think we're going to move on to John and Kevin's dining review of Topolino's Terrace at Disney's Riviera Resort. Of course, they did. I don't know if I mentioned it was a character breakfast that they did, not dinner. So we'll have to wait and find out here to see if it was a breakfast with character. John, Kevin, take it away.
We will take it away for sure. So just to start out, to set it up, Greg mentioned Topolino's Terrace, Riviera Resort. This restaurant is really one of our favorites. The dinner at this restaurant we think is spectacular. It's one of the things that we go to quite a bit. We take people there when people are in town visiting us. It's a kind of a special occasion dinner. We love it. Food is great. Service is great. Views are great. We had not been to breakfast here in quite some time. I think it was just post-COVID was the last time we had been to the character breakfast. We had remembered it being good. We were excited about it. So it was excellent that we had some friends in town who were generous enough to invite us and add us to their reservation, because it's a very popular reservation to get. The character breakfast at Topolino's, very hard reservation to get. And so Kevin and I were very excited to do it again. And I'm going to let Kevin take it away. So go with the food review, Kevin.
It was very crowded when we got there. There were a lot of people. And again, John said some friends were in town and they set up this reservation and they included us in it. So we were very happy. We loved this the first time we were there, but John's right. It was post-COVID and everybody sat like 40 feet apart and the characters stayed in a little knot in the center of the room and wouldn't come near anybody. I will tell you that's changed. The characters come to your table. It is Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy. I think that was it, right? And they're all dressed in their French Riviera clothes. Mickey's dressed as Painter Mickey. They were quite gracious about coming to your table and posing for all sorts of photographs. I will tell you that this is $49 per person for an adult. And I was disappointed. In the past, when you paid the $49, it worked almost as a buffet in that you would order your entree, but if you wanted to order something else, you could order something else and they would bring you that as well. And a typical thing, like the last time we went, not this time, I ordered the quiche, which I raved about, but then they have a sour cream waffle dish, and we ordered one of those. And what they do is they bring you out like a quarter serving, but if you wanted more, you could order more. And that way you got to try things. You never got another full entree. They have changed that. You now get to order at $49, you get to order one entree.
And it specifically now says that on the menu. It's like choice of one, Kevin. Do not ask for more.
Well, I said to him, can we order a piece of the sour cream waffle? And he said, no, you'd have to pay for another entree, which I thought was, I don't know, seems weird. At $49, you should be able to get a piece of a waffle. That's my opinion. In the past, I apologize. I have to read the menu because I didn't commit it to memory. I ordered the quiche Gruyere, house-made pancetta, roasted potatoes, Gruyere cheese, field greens, and lemon vinaigrette. In the past, I thought this was one of the best things I had ever eaten. I'm sad to say that it wasn't this time. It came out and was a little bit greasy and cold. The potatoes were really good, and the bacon was good. John, what did you get?
I got the same thing. The bacon was something that we asked our waiter to do. We said, listen, we really just want a couple pieces of bacon. And he was generous enough to get us the bacon on our plate. But I agree with you. The potatoes were good. The quiche was greasy and cold. And it wasn't what we remember from the last time. But the nice part was, not the nice part, the good part of this was being with friends, everybody got a chance to share and taste everybody else's dish. So we had a chance to taste some of the other things that were ordered. So I'm gonna go on to someone ordered the steak and eggs. And I was very excited about that. I love steak and eggs. It's one of my favorite breakfasts ever. The person ordered the steak medium rare, and it was overdone. And the steak was cold. And she generously shared with me, and I had a bite of her steak, and it was tough and cold and just not worth it.
Again, I think the portion size was on the steak because it's hidden under those, I believe, are mushrooms. But it's like, it doesn't look like there's a lot of mushrooms, but it's blocking all of the steak.
So you see the potatoes are in this. No, you see the potatoes are kind of to the right of the dish. Eggs are at the bottom of the dish. There might have been 3 medallions of beef, and that's being generous for steak. I mean, and what was interesting about this was the waiter was like, "Oh, you should get the steak and eggs. Everyone gets the steak and eggs. The steak and eggs are the best value." Blah 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 blah. And it was not good. It was just not. The meat was tough and cold, and it was just such a disappointment. Overdone.
So it's about to expire, so they were pushing it.
Somebody did order the sour cream waffle, and it too came out not hot. And I was told that while it should have been light and fluffy, it was also a little greasy. And that came with orange maple syrup. That was deemed the best part of the dish. And it comes with a side of breakfast meat. There's smoked bacon, ham, sausage, or there is plant-based sausage. I ordered a side of sausage with my quiche, and I am fairly certain that I got plant-based sausage by mistake.
Oh, I don't think you did. You got
you think it was just bad?
I think it was just bad. It was actually really bad. Craig, we've got a picture of someone got 2 eggs any style, and they specifically ordered the plant-based sausage. Can we bring one of those up? Pictures of one of those up. So now remember, this is $49. You got scrambled eggs and potatoes, and you have this thing, which looks like someone might have eaten it and digested it and evacuated it.
It goes back to Rhino's conversation about the dream suite.
It was. I was so grossed out by this. I thought, I cannot believe that this is something that someone thinks is appetizing and appealing to put on a plate and deliver to people.
I can't believe that's $49.
That's $49. And I mean,
yeah, I'm stuck on that price point.
And I tasted the plant-based sausage, and it was awful. It was just terrible. But the fact that for everybody who ate their meal, all they could say was, "Oh, these potatoes are good." The potatoes
were a hit.
I mean, they looked like they put a generous amount of cheese in those eggs, at least, and I'm sure it was a fancy cheese. It wasn't just like cheddar.
No, I think that's just scrambled eggs, Craig.
That's great. It looks like there's cheese in there.
I think it's slices of
scrambled eggs.
I think it's slices of Velveeta. There might be some Velveeta.
Well, if ET's missing a finger, we found it on the plate.
Table. We didn't judge her that it was 9:30 and she ordered a Bloody Mary. But the Bloody Mary came and it looked like a Bloody Mary. It didn't look like an event. It didn't look like a party. It was a Bloody Mary with an olive stuck on top of it, and it was $23.
That's a lot.
And the
23.
person who ordered the scrambled eggs and potatoes and plant-based sausage got the Bloody Mary, and I thought, that's $73
No way.
And I think for $73, you ought to be, rolling around and clutching your belly and screaming about how this is the best scrambled eggs you've ever had. I will also say that our server was efficient. However, he was very, he got very personal it was John and I and 4 women. And he got very personal with them. That should we call their husbands and tell them they're running away with the waiter from Disney? I mean, got down on his knee and held one of their hands. And the whole time you're thinking, I understand making this personal, but it was uncomfortable. It was just uncomfortable.
I mean, I have so many follow-up questions now with this. Like, was he like how would you describe the personality of the waiter? Was he like Pepe Le Pew style?
Swarmy? Is
He
that what
was swarmy. He was swarmy.
He came to, not charming, he came to our table and said to us, I don't speak much English. And we said, okay. And we started talking to him. He spoke perfect English.
His English was impeccable.
And
Are
then
you sure he was the server?
Yes.
He's the one that brought the food and took the order. I have no other way of identifying him.
You got to look
he's
for the
what
art
I-
name tag.
No, he
It was
wasn't
just a
art.
guest grabbing plates.
He asked one woman where her husband was. And she said, he stayed home. He didn't come on this trip. And he said, so he won't know if you come back to my room? And I thought,
What?
Oh my
What?
God.
Yeah, it was extremely uncomfortable.
No
And I mean,
way.
here's the deal: we were not prudes. This wasn't a table of prudes, and they played along a little bit with it, but he didn't know when to stop and back off. It was just not appropriate.
I mean, these are good friends, so we were all very comfortable together. But I think to myself, I can't make my hat stay on straight. I'm having trouble with it. I thought he doesn't know that we're all good friends. I thought he was inappropriate.
I agree. I thought it was inappropriate too. I will say, so kind of in a nutshell, right? Incredible character interaction. If you were looking for great character interaction, the characters were stupendous. Spending time with each of us at the table, taking pictures with each of us at the table. They do a little dance in the middle of dinner, and they all come out and they dance around the room. That is a great character interaction, and the kids were eating it up. Tons of kids in the restaurant. Everybody was loving it. But it's I apologize for looking down, but it's $49 for adults and it's $30 for children 9 and under. So this is an expensive meal, especially for the food not to be good.
I will say
great
that
space.
before the meal, you got a container of pastries. I think we have a picture of it.
Yeah, show the pastries. The pastries were the bright spot of the meal.
And Rhino, the muffins were moist.
God.
It comes with strawberry jam, Nutella, and butter. And they brought 2 of them for a party of 6. So the croissants were good. They were also cold. But they were like supposed to be cold, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't pay for this. John and I did not pay. We were invited as guests. And I've actually spoken to the person who invited us. And I asked if it was okay if we were honest about this. I did not want her to feel bad that we were going to say things that weren't great. And she texted me a list of her complaints also. So she was actually the one who got proposed to by the server, or propositioned, whatever it was.
Okay, Do you think it's that the server knew the food coming out was bad and he was trying to make up for the situation?
Oh, well, yeah, I'll solve this
Distract.
with my body.
I mean, it could be. So Rhino didn't make me, but he implored that I should
Where's this
watch
going?
this Amazon movie called Totally Killer. And one of the running jokes in it is that it's set in the 80s. And so they're like, yeah, drunk driving. I drive better when I'm drunk nonstop. And like all these jokes that she's just like, this is so inappropriate, the things you're saying. And so it reminds me of that in a way, like people trying to make up for it because they're out of time. And like, I know how to fix this situation. I'll propose to them. That'll make it all better.
I actually think my opinion is he was trying to play up the fact that what was he, Kevin? Was he French? I couldn't pinpoint where he was supposed to be from, but I was sort of getting this idea that
he was from somewhere in South America.
Oh, really? That's how good his accent was. I had no idea where he's from. But I think he was trying to play up the fact that maybe he was sort of romantic and charming and he was going to flirt with the ladies at the table.
It was 9:30 in the morning. If anybody else had done this, it would have been an HR issue. If I had done this to one of the female servers, I would have been trespassed.
It was very, very uncomfortable. And, you know, when he wasn't there, we were enjoying each other's company. We had a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on, and, you know, discussing their stay and the things they got a chance to do. But every time he came over, he made it about him. And it was just really, really weird. And on top of it, the food was bad. The food was just bad. And I'm really disappointed because in the past, the food had been really good. And this was a really great experience, and dinner is great. So
we've recommended it to people.
Yeah.
You know, go to
I'm going to
brunch.
say avoid this breakfast if you can. Avoid they call it brunch too. Just avoid it until they get their act together.
Yep. Well, I'm reading you loud and clear, John. Everyone should avoid it, so that way there will always be open reservations for you guys to go back.
Exactly. Just for us.
I'm reading right through. Bad breakfast, weird waiter. I'm not buying it for a second.
I'm sorry. My breakfast that I get from McDonald's, I get the big breakfast without pancakes. It's a scrambled egg, and I get 2 pieces of sausage and a hash brown. And what does that cost? $8, $9? John usually goes, so I don't know how much it costs. I don't go. He drives to McDonald's and picks up breakfast, so I don't know what it costs now. And that was better. That's a better breakfast.
And I've only been hit on once by the people at McDonald's, so my experience there is much better.
He did ask
There you have
John.
it. Go to McDonald's.
He did ask John where his wife was, and I thought,
No.
I'm not opening that can of worms. Just let it go.
We're still looking for her.
Oh,
Yeah, not our favorite meal. Unfortunately, it's really taken a turn for the worst. So,
well,
And it's expensive.
yeah, very expensive meal to not enjoy.
understandable. But, well, you know, remember, too, it's just their experience in that moment with their group, and the table right next to them might have been loving it. So sometimes you just never know how it could go. But cold food, overly greasy food, slightly aggressive server, you know, there's a lot going on there. So I think the cold food, that definitely signals an issue overall with how the kitchen is working. Maybe it was just a bad day, or maybe it's the new norm. So just take it into consideration.
I still want to thank the person who invited us. I'm sure she's going to watch this. So I just wanted to know that the best part of it was the time together. So I would like to say thank you for that. But I'm sorry she had to pay for stuff that wasn't great.
Kevin, I feel like that ends it in a really good spot. So we should probably wrap this up because I know everyone has Halloween celebrations to get to later today, and trick-or-treating and candy to pass out. So we won't take up too much more of your time here. I just want to ask the group before we go, does anyone have any last things that they want to say, plug, or we'll wrap up the show? So John, Kevin, Erica, Rhino, anything?
I do.
Okay.
I want to remind folks that we've got a new Dreams Unlimited Travel podcast going on. It's called the Parents Panel Podcast. We've been putting them up on Mondays, thanks to Craig. Once we get our dream show back and running, we'll move that show to another day. But we hope you join us. I'm having a good time talking to folks with kids about what it's like to travel to Walt Disney World or travel in general and getting to know them. So, I hope you guys tune into that. Dreams Unlimited Travel Parents Panel Podcast goes up on Mondays for now.
Yes. And you can find that at youtube.com/@DreamsUnlimitedTravel, and it is available directly in the Dreams Unlimited Travel show feed for podcasts, so you can get that wherever you listen to podcasts. It should be in all the big ones: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you know them. They're all there. Kevin, did you have something that you wanted to mention too?
Just a quickie. We have 2 Backstage Magics going next year. The dates are June 30th through July 5th and 12/8 through 12/13. So we're going to be there for 4th of July. And then the second one will have the Christmas decorations up. It is $9,988 or not $9,098 per couple. A single is $6,999 and children are $4,749. It is 5 nights and it's a great time. We have people who go on 2 or 3 or even up to 4. They love it. So if you're interested, Kevin at Dreams Unlimited Travel. You've heard me talk about this before, so I'm not going to rehash it, but they're there if you want to go.
And you can always find a direct link in the description to get you set up there, or head to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com in general, or go to the Diz and catch up on everything happening with Walt Disney World beyond what we talk about in the podcast and post on YouTube. So I guess I'll also mention too, we have Patreon, and we'll be doing our Patreon post show right after we're done with this. So you can find a link to that in the description as well if you want to support us and get some extra content. Keep being subscribed to the channel, so you obviously find out when we have new videos dropping. We have our DCL show back on Wednesdays right now that Elaine Edwards is spearheading. We have dining reviews that usually go up on Thursdays. We have the Universal show, Rhino shopping videos, Tap House Talks. We've got a lot of great content going up, and most of it is also being posted as well on their podcast feeds too. So make sure you are subscribed to all the podcast feeds that we have out there so you never miss any shows. So thank you all so much in this group for hanging out with me and talking on this busy Halloween day. John and Kevin, thank you so much for sharing your dining review. Really appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. So
yeah, happy Halloween.
Yeah. Rhino, you might as well say it too. But ask Scoob.
No, I can't do it.
Okay. Well, feels like a missed opportunity. You had the entire show to practice, and now at the end, you can't do it.
It was Valley Scooby-Doo. I can't do it.
Can't do it.
Do it.
Do it. God. Oh my God, I love LA. You think I sound LA?
Okay.
Please end the show. Please.
We'll try that. We'll try again next week. If you want to support us more, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. Head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today for a free, no obligation quote. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Leave comments, questions, video suggestions in the comments section. If you were listening to this, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us ratings and reviews when possible. Thank you all so much for tuning in this week. I truly hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to the panel, and we will see you next time with another episode of the Diz Unlimited podcast. But for now, we've reached the end, or should I say the beginning of your future. Bye-bye.
What?